Hello science fans, welcome back to Science Fun with Austin. Today we're taking a look at a couple of viewer requests that are kind of related. Don in Alabama asked, in Back to the Future Part 3 where they tried to run the car on moonshine, could that work? And another Alabama request from Dale asks us to take a look at why they can't come up with a calorie-free beer. So we'll take a look at whether or not you could run a car on booze, and why there isn't diet booze available coming up. Alright, so the first thing that would have to be true for the booze to be useful as a fuel would be that it would have to be flammable. So we're going to start off with Everclear, which, due to the warnings on the bottle, we're pretty sure can be ignited. Let's take a look. And yes, Everclear burns fantastically well. So at 190 proof, Everclear is the strongest ethanol concentration that can be obtained through distillation. Let's see if some more likely to be available alcohols would have worked. We'll try this Stro 80, which is an imported rum from Austria, which claims to be 80% alcohol by volume. And yes, even the lower purity alcohol seems to be burning just fine. So, going back to Dale's question about why we can't have calorie-free booze, taking a look at the container we've been using for our experiments, we've only gone through 2 so far, and we haven't even really had much alcohol available. By volume it isn't very much, but you see we've transferred a great deal of energy to the glass just by burning that little bit of alcohol. And since we haven't really invented a molecule that tastes and has similar effects to alcohol without being digestible, there's just no way to get around the fact that anything with alcohol will have calories. So going from pure distilled ethanol to exotic spirits, now going to a little more readily available type of alcohol. Here's some Knob Creek Single Barrel. The 120 proof means that it is 60% alcohol. And it took a little bit of coaxing, but you can see the delicious Knob Creek Single Barrel is definitely flammable. Watching that burn up kind of breaks my heart a little bit. Interestingly, you can see the flame is of course really hot, but the bulk liquid and the base of the shot glass aren't really all that warm. So after burning the whiskey, you can definitely see that there's a ring of deposits left behind, and we have kind of a dark sludgy liquid left after the alcohol is burned off. So if you happen to be celebrating the New Year and or a football national championship recently and you used whiskey to do so, that might have something to do with why you felt kind of crummy the next day. Alright, for our last test fluid for today, we'll try a liquid that may or may not act, and in fact is, Mississippian moonshine, which should be perfectly representative of what would have been in Back to the Future Part 3. And it turns out that the regular old moonshine just isn't all that potent and can't be ignited this way. For one last test, we'll try an atomized mixture of moonshine. And you can see that even though we couldn't get the bulk liquid to ignite, when we atomize it in a spray, we can still get it to go. This is actually probably closer to what fuel coming through a carburetor or fuel injector would be like. So I think we've established that number one, alcohol can burn, and that plausibly available moonshine concentrations of alcohol could have worked as a fuel. And number two, I think we've shown that alcohol it does have a significant calorie content, and therefore trying to make a calorie-free beer is going to be pretty difficult unless you can find something that tastes exactly like alcohol but is chemically unrelated. And finally, I think we've also found out a little bit about maybe why you should be kind of careful with your beverage choice. When you finish burning the alcohol in whiskey, this is what you have left, even from pretty decent whiskey, and that it's actually looking less appealing now. Anyway, I hope you had fun watching, and have a good day, science fans.